Father's Day weekend, this Palace of Power in the Great Lakes region welcomes a stacked lineup of monster machines. In years past, we've seen tight racing, big surprises, bold moves, and mass carnage. Up next, we get a little of it all as we hit our favorite stop of the summer. Say welcome to the northwestern corner of the Northeast for our favorite stop of the summer, the Lake Erie Speedway in the little town of Northeast Pennsylvania, all the way up in the northwestern corner of the Keystone State, right near Lake Erie proper. And over here we have a tarmac of mass destruction ready to go, big obstacles, a Z-shaped race course for these guys to compete on, and a stacked lineup as always, of course, from right down the road near Buffalo, New York. The Robbins family brings Plain Crazy and Crazy Train out. Crazy Train, of course, the 2023 Monster Masters Championship Series champion on the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. They wrapped that up back in March, and he is bringing that momentum into this event. He would love to win this close to home, as these guys have all the parts they need right down the road and on hand. And that includes his brother, who was runner-up on that same series. Of course, out of Indiana, Wild Side, John Zimmer out of Vermont driving Wild Side for Zach Garner this weekend, and Deirdre Ballard at the wheel of Miss Overboard, once again out of the Hoosier State. And of course, a group of guys we're getting used to seeing out here at Lake Erie Speedway, all the way out of Utah. Team Throttle Monster sends two of the newest. Devin Winfield taking over the seat of Kamikaze, and Tim Hall Jr. at the wheel of a brand new Eddie Micah built Jurassic Attack out of the Utah-based Team Throttle Monster of Mike Christensen and Paul Jensen. They should be awesome here this weekend. And speaking of Team Throttle Monster, they are going to open things up in our best trick competition. We have three competitions, as always, on the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. Best trick, racing, and freestyle action to get things underway. There are points in each that will lead to an overall championship. And again, with a stacked lineup like this, you can guarantee that you are going to see some wild action before we even get into the middle stages of tonight, let alone before the end of the night. First up, of course, Devin Winfield out of Las Vegas, Nevada, driving the Utah-based Kamikaze. The lineup, they have 2 hits to try to get 10 points total, 5 points per each hit, as is the norm. We've seen them shake that point system up a little bit. If one of these guys lays down a really good single and breaks, we've seen them give them 7, 8 points sometimes, but you really need to make both of your hits to get the maximum number. Winfield lining things up. As I said, new to the seat of this truck, but not new to the seat of a monster truck. And you may notice the tires and rims on this vehicle. We'll tell you about that a little bit later this evening. Little hang time to open things up for Winfield. We will see what he has for hit number 2. They have a myriad of options. Let's see what he goes after. Nice sky wheelie for Winfield, just warming up the crowd, getting things started off here tonight in Lake Erie. As we watch the moves again, we will wait on the score for Winfield. Remember, it's out of a possible 10, 5 points really to each move, and the word coming down as he will open things up with a strong 5. I doubt it's going to stay up on top of the field with the lineup that we've got here, but not a bad way to start things off. Up next, Deirdre Ballard out of Indianapolis, Indiana. This is Miss Overboard. Another Eddie Micah built truck. Let's see. Big hit right there on some fresh iron, and it's always tough to hit those fresh cars. Right there, though, is a signature of this track, the smoking tires. Coming out of the corners, coming up off the infield. These fans here love to watch these guys smoke these tires. Look like she's going to give them a little bit more. Solid set of donuts for Deirdre Ballard and Miss Overboard. Remember, she's going after a score of 5. See if she was able to top that. Winfield laying down a shot with some big air and some wheelies. This one had kind of a big air wheelie to start it off, and then some awesome donuts. Short but sweet with the donuts, but she'll have more for these fans before the weekend is up. That smoke show that they put on over there is always awesome. And look at this. She takes over the lead with a score of 6. Miss Overboard, your new leader, as Plain Crazy rolls out of the Buffalo, New York area. Lawton's, New York to be exact, carrying the colors for Marquette Savings Bank for this event. Glad to do it. One of the great sponsors of the annual stop for the All-Star Monster Truck Tour here in Lake Erie. And a new hood on this machine, well, a new old hood. As he actually trashed the original hood doing this move right here. He slammed it down on the K-rails and actually took part of the front of the frame off. They had to do a bunch of work after bringing this truck back home from Bangor, Maine to repair the front end as he snapped the body mounts off and some other tubing up there and really reinforced the front end of another Eddie Micah built monster truck. One of the premier chassis builders in this industry, and has his name on a lot of great equipment, including this one right here. Montana Robbins and Plain Crazy, ready to whip up a little bit of smoke. Cyclone time in turn 4. Another smoke show for the Plain Crazy Chevy Silverado out of Lawton's, New York. Keep in mind, as awesome as what you're seeing is, this is just the beginning of a 2-show weekend for these teams, so they're going to be turning it up as we move through this pair of shows. Not only from this one here, it's going to get wild before the end of the night, but they get to do it all over again tomorrow with whatever's left of the track. This was an awesome, awesome pair of moves. A score of 9 for Plain Crazy. Wow. Montana Robbins opening up his weekend strong. Here comes Tim Hall Jr. Hall now making his hometown in Ogden, Utah. He lived in Michigan for many, many years, now driving for the Utah-based Team Throttle Monster. Feeling the brand new Jurassic Attack out. That is an absolutely brand spanking new truck, brand new body. It's a beautiful piece of equipment. And again, Eddie Micah built. Problem right there, though. You see him get sideways. Now, I don't know if the self-center went off or if maybe he has a ball switch that went or something else. Maybe one of the Rams is bypassing. Strange hit right there. He's only going to score a 3. So a tough break for Tim Hall Jr. They're going to take that to the back, and we'll see them back in the racing bracket. Here comes John Zimmer out of Arlington, Vermont, in the Indiana-based Wild Side. Trying to get it into a slap wheelie with a little water and a lot of dust on top of pavement is not easy, but he gave it an honest shot. Nice hang time in the move. Going after a 9. Well, you can tell Zimmer used to drive an Excalibur truck there, drifting across this massive floor here at the infield of the Lake Erie Speedway with a donut from the front stretch down into about the center part of the infield. Zimmer with 2 awesome moves, again going after a 9. We'll see what the pro judges thought. Not going to be enough. Only going to be a score of 8 for Zimmer. I say only, that's a great score out of 10. Left 2 on the table, but he had to contend with a 9. Now, Triton Robbins, the older brother of the Robbins family. Nice hang time there. Walking it on up into turn number 4. An awesome slap wheelie. Now what will he do to better what he just did? Remember, you're not only going after the person that just ran before you, you also have to make each move you do better than the previous move. Want that score to keep racking up. Right now, though, that should be a solid 5 just for that move right there. Let's see what he gets on his second one. Looks like he's going for a little 2-wheel action. Stompy into a moonwalk, and he just took out the corner marker, the big Ute tires. Now it's rolling off down there toward the rental car. Get that under control. Looks like it's going to take off down near the drain, the center of the track. This track has great drainage, but you get a rogue tire rolling across the infield. Looks like it's going to find a home right there near turn 2. What a hit. That was awesome. Big air, smacks it down perfectly. That's why they call it a slap wheelie. Slaps the front wheels down, stands it right back up. Waiting on the score. We listen in. All-Star Zone, Chuck Plumley, 10 points for Triton Robbins in the Crazy Train, and even took out a little bit of the track.
Into our Marquette Savings Bank victory lane, your Stafford Services best trick winner, Triton Robbins in the Crazy Train. He is down there in the winner's circle with Brian Wagner. Let's hear from our defending champion and the best trick winner, Triton Robbins.
Thanks, Chuck. What an incredible run. You saw 5 of the absolute best in the country lay it down, including your brother, and you knew you had to pull out 2 incredible tricks. You were talking to me on the ride over here to Marquette Savings Bank Victory Lane. You said, I got to check the back of my truck to see if there's still a wheelie bar. Talk about the incredible slap wheelie, and then following up with a 1-wheel nose stand.
Yeah, that's for sure. You don't want all 5 trucks back there. They're the best of the best. I'm watching every one of them go out, and the score just keeps going up closer to 10. I know I'm going to have to be perfect to even think about taking the lead.
How about it, Erie? If you get on your feet, if you've got that crazy merch, he's looking at you right now.
We are just getting started as he takes some hardware up to some rabid fans. Don't go anywhere. More coming up from Lake Erie.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. Stay up to date with photos, videos, event info, and more at monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For an inside look at the monster truck phenomenon, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
There's only one place in the world you can find this much old school cool. Freedom Racing Monster Trucks. The home of Cyclops and Unmade and Untamed. Get yourself a limited edition toy at freedomracingmt.com.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, the place to get your motorsports fix.
Back at the Lake Erie Speedway, the fans on hand, having a blast, enjoying the sensational action on the All-Star Monster Truck Tour as we get ready to go now with bracket-style eliminations in Monster Truck Racing. The first round will only have 5 in the first round. Crazy Train, by virtue of winning the best trick competition, will draw an automatic seed into the semifinal round. He'll face the fast loser out of this round. Tim Hall Jr. was unable to effect repairs on Jurassic Attack. They're down there right now feverishly trying to get that truck back in action for Freestyle. But up first, it's going to be Devin Winfield out of Las Vegas, Nevada, up against Wildside John Zimmer out of Vermont. Good first turn, little bobble there for Zimmer. He steps out. He had to gather it back in to avoid a disqualification. Final corner. And Zimmer first across the line. But the line judges are on the radio right now. Did Zimmer make a legal run? No, he did not. So Devin Winfield will come back in the semifinal round. He'll survive his way there. Not the way he wanted to get a win, but he has another shot to get himself now into the final round. You saw Zimmer miss that second to last jump, that little roller. He wasn't clear and true on it. He left the left front tire on the pavement. Now as our second pairing of round one comes up. So our fast loser will come out of this pairing, likely. The only way that wouldn't happen is if one of these two trucks also DQs, and then it will go to the fastest DQ run. As in a double DQ situation now, as we get a pair of Chevys on the line, Plain Crazy and Miss Overboard, New York and Indiana. Really pushing in the corner was Ballard as Plain Crazy comes back around. Thought she might give him a run there at the end, but it wasn't to be. She struggles herself. And in fact, she missed the last roller, it looks like. She went across there sideways. We are waiting on the call right now. We'll find out exactly where she does end up in this bracket, as they have some line judging to do down there as we get ready now for our first pairing of the semifinal round. And she will head back to the pit area, snug up alongside teammate John Zimmer in Wildside. A pair of Chevy Silverados. They're beautiful looking, well-prepared trucks out of the state of Indiana. And here comes Plain Crazy right back to the line. Didn't get much of a chance to let that one cool down, but he still should be building horsepower. It's not real hot out here today. It's actually helping these guys out a lot. They can make these runs back to back, but this is an awful, awful long course to be running an engine that hard for that long. Come up alongside Devin Winfield driving the Utah-based Kamikaze. Sheriff Devin looking to maybe pick up a win here in this round of racing. Great first corner for both trucks. Winfield looks like he might give him a run this time around. Into the final corner. Problems for Winfield, but he made Robbins work for that win. Montana did not have any time to acknowledge whether or not Winfield was straight and true. You saw him get on the power to try to come out of that corner blazing down toward the finish line. You see how little room they have to let the truck settle. These guys are getting whipped around in those cabs. It is a rough ride. These guys are battling on one of the toughest tracks of the year right here. It's long, it's choppy, and anything can happen. You can see right there how steep those finish line jumps are. Trying to keep these guys from getting all the way down into turn 4 and getting up against the wall. Deidre Ballard, there you see our fast loser out of round 1. So it looks like she did hit that final, or excuse me, the second to last jump, the penultimate, the roller, clear and true. She will line up against the guy who got the automatic seat. He has not run on the course yet as he draws the inside lane. We'll wait to see if that continues to be the better of the two lanes. Much better for Ballard this time around. She might give Triton a run out of the outside lane, down to the inside. Robbins taking a big risk. He almost got out of shape before the last jump, got it reeled in, came back around, and he will now compete with Montana Robbins, his own younger brother, in the championship race here at Lake Erie Speedway. And nobody, but nobody would love to beat up on the train more than the man in the Empire Flyer, Montana Robbins and Plain Crazy, brother against brother, when we come back to Lake Erie Speedway. Lake Erie Speedway, getting ready for the championship round of monster truck racing on the Z-shaped obstacle course, and it will be brother against brother. Triton Robbins, as I keep mentioning, the 2023 All-Star Championship Series champion. Nose to nose with the runner-up, his own brother in Plain Crazy. If I haven't said it before, 2024 really starts tonight with this run right here. These two guys are going to be toe-to-toe during the 2024 All-Star Series Championship. We know they're going to be there. We don't know exactly who the rest of the lineup is, but we do know it's going to be a stacked lineup. These guys are not going to get any favors next year. But Montana Robbins wants one thing known. He is not letting Triton sneak past him. They're a great team off the track, helping each other out to the bitter end. But the bitter end is right here on the starting line. Very similar trucks. The setup, though, to the preference of each driver. Montana Robbins or Triton Robbins. The championship race at Lake Erie on Friday night. Dead even to the first turn. Both trucks washing out just a little bit, but they're going to carry a lot of momentum here. They're coming around. What did I say? There was no quit in either of those guys. Who won that race? Maybe a little edge to the plane. We'll wait and find out. There it is. Montana Robbins, the Marquette Savings Bank, Plain Crazy, picking up a victory on night one here at Lake Erie. Did what he wanted to do. He almost had him in the best trick competition. Had to go after him here. Look at this first turn. Got in as quick as he could. He needed to keep the momentum up because the outside lane grants you a faster run at these final jumps. Triton Robbins knew that. Look how hard he comes into it, almost out of bounds. Pushing the truck for all it was worth, and it was by 200ths at the finish line. The victory goes to Montana Robbins in Plain Crazy. Here comes Brian Wagner on up to the front stretch. Big cheers for the young man out of Western New York.
Brother on brother action. You guys love to talk smack back there in the pits. So for 20 minutes, you have just been jabbing at each other back and forth and back and forth. And what an incredible race by inches. You get your big brother. How does it feel to come out here on top in front of all your family and friends?
You know, I definitely got to give everybody a, they're phenomenal drivers back there for one thing. And, being able to grow up with my brother and my father driving, I've learned a lot. And, after best trick, I think I got a little robbed by that horn. So I had to show him who's boss.
You did have to show him who's boss, and what I'm being told right now, by a very slim margin, you have the Marquette Savings Bank overall lead going into freestyle. Do you think this is your opportunity to grab that illustrious hometown overall win?
Heck yeah, all these drivers back here, they're going to definitely put up a good fight, but we're just going to tear it down for you hometown fans.
All right, I've got this trophy right here.
Well, you can tell that win meant a lot to him. We have some points updates coming your way here in just a moment as they're doing some final tallies, and then we're going to send it up to the booth real quick in our pal All-Star Monster Truck Tour Zone, Chuck Plumley.
In the point standings, they are chasing down tonight's Marquette Savings Bank overall championship. The Dinosaur, who unfortunately missed Monster Truck Racing, has got it back together, and they will be back for freestyle competition. However, they are sitting in 6th place with 16 points. 16 points for the Dinosaur. In 5th place will be Sheriff Devin Winfield in the Kamikaze with 20 points. So 20 points for the Kamikaze and Miss Overboard and the Wild Side. Teammates, Miss Overboard and Wild Side with 21 points. 21 points on the evening. But here's where it gets interesting. Your best trick winner was your runner-up in racing, Train Robinson, the Crazy Train, with 27 points. 27 points for Train Robinson, the Crazy Train. However, the leader is the younger brother. The 9-point best trick and the 20 full points in racing gives him 29 points. Montana Robbins, Playing Crazy, your leader with 29 points. Crazy Train with 27. Wild Side and Miss Overboard with 21. Kamikaze with 20. And the Dinosaur with 16 points.
Well, there you have it, the points standings as we go into freestyle action. It's going to start off with Devin Winfield out of Las Vegas, Nevada, driving the Utah-based Ford Kamikaze. Brian Wagner getting them staged, tested, ready to go. The RAI test is good. Out rolls the Utah-based Kamikaze. We have seen this very truck here before, but with Dawson Rias at the wheel. Now, completely different set of running shoes on this truck. In fact, this is a well-tested set of running shoes. They've got an air leak. For those super fans out there, you may recognize that tire and rim combination. Those are the tires and wheels off of Tim Menti and Stephen Thompson's old Hurricane Force Eddie Micah truck that ended up with this team as well. Nice start for Devin Winfield. Keeping the momentum up. He wants to keep that thing spinning right now. He does not know if that tire is going to hold. He's been a little bit worried about it. It had a slow leak in it, but it was a fairly substantial slow leak. Taking some chances, though. Kamikaze comes down right on the tire that's got the hole in it. Climbed out of a very, very different style monster truck from another team he worked for, and now coming over here working for this team. These guys get the green light every weekend to drive just about as hard as you'd ever want to, provided that they fix the equipment, and he's doing that here. Headed for the bus again. Massive hit, but we hear something let go when he comes down, and I believe get a look at it here. He did pop that tire. The left front is going down and going down quick. Probably is going to pull off the track here. You don't want to grind that rim into the pavement. Gonna get cut short, unfortunately, but a great start to this freestyle competition for Devin Winfield. Another look at a couple of moves here. We'll see what the scores are. They're judged on 3 criteria: use, of course, momentum, and the wow factor. In that order, we will wait on those scores. But he had some big hang time. That first hit there came down right on that tire, and you have to wonder if it opened it up. And here, it was hard to tell. You see the puff? Sometimes it's an indication of a shock letting go, sometimes a tire. Here you go. 8 on use, of course, 6 on momentum, 8 on the wow factor. Devin Winfield posts a 22 to open up freestyle. Solid run. It could win, but with this field, it's going to be tough to hang on to that top spot. Miss Overboard out next when we return to Lake Erie Speedway.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Back at the Lake Erie Speedway under the lights, getting ready for our second out in freestyle, going after a score of 22. Here is Deirdre Ballard in the big black Chevy out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Miss Overboard. Going big to start off, maybe trying to work it into a slap wheelie. Didn't quite get the grip. Does not matter if it's the first night or the second night. These guys and gals will run as hard as they have to try to pick up a victory at one of the premier events of the summer. Big hit off of the bus. It really pitched her over on the nose, and the truck goes quiet. She may have jarred the RII loose in the harness, but the light is still on in the windshield, I can see. So maybe something simple like a battery cable getting jostled around or something like that. Hopefully nothing that's going to hurt the rest of her run, because she's going to try to finish it up. As you can see right now, she refired it herself. So it may have been something very, very simple, just getting jostled around. One of the best pieces of equipment in the business. Another Eddie Mike and chassis. She just mauls those turn tires. Wow. Laying down a shot, remember, going after Winfield's 22, the wow factor for him was an 8 out of 10. That was for Big Air. She's got plenty of that. And Miss Overboard wrapping up an awesome run. I have to say, I think she bettered Devin Winfield on momentum. I don't know how they are going to judge. The pro judges, 3 scores out of 10. Use of course, momentum and wow factor. Where will they put her? Waiting to hear from track announcer Chuck Plumley the scores.
And the score is in. 7s across the board. 21 points. Puts her in second place. Make some noise for Mama D. Overboard.
Don't know that everyone agreed with it. You see we got a tire on end right there. Down near the lower drain. Here comes the Marquette Savings Bank Empire Flyer. Playing crazy. His one goal right now, his absolute first and only goal at this point, I am telling you, is to make life hard on his brother Triton Robbins. If he does nothing else tonight, he wants to take the overall away. Leading by 2 points right now, remember. He needs to score as high as he can.
And 2 points. 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 2 points.
seeing those sparks out of the rear brakes, and that's something he's been battling that for like 2 years now, the rear binding on this truck, but it never seems to hurt his runs. In fact, sometimes it makes them more spectacular, putting on a veritable fireworks show as he goes over the obstacles, keeping up good momentum right now. Laying down an awesome run, playing crazy, and that Marquette Savings Bank flagpole was not long for this world. Little rear steering problem for him right there, it looks like. Drives out of it, nicely done. Just grazing the right side of the bus as he comes over. Cyclones in turn 4. Smoke up there once again, and a lot of rubber down there on that part of the infield. Montana Robbins giving them everything they came to see. We'll see what the scores are in just a moment.
And we're looking for that use of force momentum on the wow factor. The score to beat was the Kamikaze 22. And the score's official. 9 on use of force. 8 on momentum. 9 on the wow factor. 26 points on the plane crazy.
26 out of the plane. Here comes Tim Hall Jr. You get a good look at that short, kind of snub-nosed chassis construction of this newer age of monster trucks. Pretty much, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches forward of the shock towers are the front tubes of these newer style chassis, and it really does allow these guys not only a better balance on these trucks, but it allows them to do a lot of the two-wheel moves that we've gotten so used to seeing. He's got a steering problem again. Thought he had it fixed. The Redline Oil Jurassic Attack. Body, new chassis, new tires, new everything. And it is giving them fits tonight. Looks like it might have come back for him right there. I think to turn back down in the infield. If it's straightened up, he can go ahead and lay down a run. And he's going to wrap it up early, unfortunately. Tim Hall Jr. with problems. Jurassic Attack. Definitely issues with that truck.
No smoking in the grandstands. The score is in a 5 on use of course, a 4 on momentum, and a 4 on wow factor. That gives him 13 points for the dinosaur. Make some noise one more time for Jurassic Attack.
The world-famous C60 Cyclops. The infamous Dodge Carryall, unnamed and untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a mudbogger turned monster truck at freedomracingmt.com.
at the Lake Erie Speedway, the fans on hand, ready for John Zimmer. Wild Side, the Indiana-based Chevrolet being driven by the veteran out of Vermont. Comes right out and tests the truck on the bus. Now these guys are contending with a new problem. I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's a little haze around the light standards when we go to that wide angle. Nice hit there for Zimmer. Thought he might get it into a slap with him, but there's a little haze around those lights. The fog is settling in, and it's settling onto the windshields of these trucks. Made that abrupt right-hand turn over there into the little hopper obstacle. What has he got now? Just going move to move. He's not really lining anything up. Whatever's near him, he just kind of turns and hits it. Hear the rubber howl as he locks it up in front of the crowd here at Lake Erie Speedway. John Zimmer. Wild Side going after a 26 of Montana Robbins. Incredible air, great momentum. I'd say those are probably his two best shots at a win here.
The judges have scored an 8 on use of course, a 9 on the momentum, and an 8 on wow factor. 25 points puts him in second place. Wild Side with 25. He can hear you, make some noise for the future Hall of Famer, John Zimmer, from the Wild Side.
And that will leave one to go. Triton Robbins. Crazy Train. From just down the road in Lawtons, New York, wanting to continue the momentum he gained from his 2023 championship. Right there, you see what a locker will do when you lay into it sideways like that. It just wants to keep pushing. Open front end will pivot around on you, and it's really up to driver's preference. He likes to be able to push those corners, get on the throttle, and then pull himself back out and go straight. That's how he's carrying all that momentum now as he lines up for this two-wheel obstacle. Let's see what he gets off of it. He's going to come back to that for sure. If this truck holds together, he will be back over here in a matter of moments. He's not going to leave his only two-wheel move at that. And I have no place to criticize that. I am not a driver, but I know he thinks there's more in it. What a hit on the butt! It's not an easy obstacle to cross, Fred. There's really only two ways to hit it. He found a third. Trying for those slap wheelies, not materializing. Again, one tire in the dirt. And he cannot catch a break on these stoppings. He had one tire in the dirt, one tire in the water. It slid around on him. He is torturing this big Chattanooga choo-choo. Getting in there tight, up by the wall now. He's got something else in mind. That is what he was looking for. Comes down hard. He's put a big crack in the body, really showing the flex. Move to move back on the throttle. Had to drive it out. I don't know how sketchy that looked on camera, but he just came very close to disaster. And that is the end of the line. All she wrote, there is nothing left to run. He drove that truck into the ground short of crashing it. He did just about everything you'd want on this track. Folded up folded up two rims, twisted up the sway bars, and overheated the engine.
Waiting for the official score. Is it enough to beat the Plane Crazy? 26 is the score to beat. I just received the score. For the first time this year, it's a perfect 30! Crazy Train, your winner!
Boy, did this crowd get a show tonight as the smoke rolls off the big locomotive from right down the road in Lawton's, New York. They're not far from home, and you can tell as they ran the wheels off of their equipment tonight. This guy, though, is going to have a lot of work to do to get that truck ready to go for another one here tomorrow at Lake Erie Speedway. What a night for him, and he will come away with the overall as we take a look at the points one more time at the end of tonight's action. What a run for the train out of New York. Look at the transmission fluid dripping out of it. Smoke, steam, and everything coming off of it. He overheated that motor. That thing is hot just to walk up next to. You can feel the heat coming off of that block and off of those headers. There is oil, there's fluid all over that thing. The drive shaft angles are a little bit wonky. He tortured the train here tonight at Lake Erie Speedway. And this was only show 1 of 2. They're going to go again, and tomorrow night, they don't have another show after tomorrow night. So they are going to go even harder. You're not going to want to miss that one. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.